Just sending out this video to respond to some of Sabah's comment in one of his recent interviews. So I just want to get the facts straight. First off, one of these things that really bothers me is this guy goes on all these interviews and calls all the Canadian MMA fighters pussies, and it says there's all these politics and nobody wants to fight him. Well, let's just get some facts out on the table. So, I mean, let's just get it out in the open. After this video, Sabah probably wants to fight me next because I'd be the perfect candidate for one of his opponents because my record is 0-0. 5 of his wins have been against fighters with zero wins. And 9 out of his 11 wins are against fighters with losing records. So it's not like this guy's going out and beating killers. I mean, 5 of his wins have been against pure tomato cans with 0 wins in MMA. Now, he comes out and he says, he called me up first time like 2.5 years ago. He's like, hey, you know, your roster is weak. I'll fight anybody on your roster 45-70. And I'm like, okay, well, why don't you fight Dan Kayak? He's like, well, that guy's my brother. I'm like, okay, well, why don't you fight Ash? He's like, well, he's my brother too. I'm like, damn, well, you got a lot of brothers on the BFL roster. Do you want to fight or not? They're like, stop wasting my time. Then he's like, well, how about this guy? How about that guy? And the guys he's picking are guys with like 2-3 MMA fights. So I'm just like, don't waste my time. Then he calls back a while later and he's like, well, I want to fight Jeremy Kennedy. I'm like, you don't have a fight in BFL. Why don't you earn it? And fight somebody else first. And then he's like, well, I deserve a straight title shot. I'm like based on what? You deserve a title shot. Why? You've had one fight in BC and you got choked out in the first minute at WSOF. That earns you a title shot. Anyways, we got into argument. Then more recently, when Jeremy Kennedy was willing to fight him, Sabah is like, well, I don't want to fight him because we're training together. But the real reason you don't want to fight him, and I know this because we got 5-6 other guys from that camp on a roster, and I talk to everybody a couple of times a week because they got fights coming up. I'm asking about their training, and everybody's telling me, hey, these guys are rolling together, and Sabah is getting his ass kicked every day by Jeremy Kennedy. So, and Jeremy is willing to fight him all of a sudden, and Sabah wants no part of it. So so as soon as he knows it's a tough fight, he doesn't want to touch it. Then he puts me on blast on Facebook because he calls me up. He's like, give me Ryan Diaz. Well, Ryan Diaz hasn't fought in 5 years. He's lost 6 out of his last 7 fights. So, yeah, and he's an undersized fighter for the weight class, so you want to fight him. Then he's like, how come I can't have Nick Gainey? Dude, wake up. Nick Gainey's got 3 pro fights. You got 14. So, again, he's like trying to handpick his opponents, and then he throws a fit. Like, other guys understand. Sean Albrecht asked to fight Ryan Diaz. I go, this guy's being active. He hasn't fought for years. So he needs more of a warm-up fight in his fight back. But Sabah's, the guy's like, you're protecting this guy. Just like he was saying you're protecting Jeremy for years. And then now he's not. When the chance came, he didn't want to fight him because he rolled with him and he got his ass kicked. And he wanted no part of it. Now he's talking about this nonsense about the ticket commission. So he's like getting me a fight. I need a higher pay because I sell 100 tickets guaranteed. Then I go, well, if you sell 100 tickets, why don't you take your fight person tickets? And I said on top of it, if you sell 100 tickets, you'll make $600 in commission if it's $60 a ticket. He twisted it around on that interview and said, oh, they offered us 6 and 6. So stop lying, you know. You're being exposed. You're a fraud. You won't fight anyone tough. Your record speaks for itself. Look who you've been beating. You beat up on 5 tomato cans. They got 0 wins, combined 0 wins between the 5 guys, and 9 of them have losing records. So, no, you're not going to be in a title fight. You're not going to go around and run your mouth saying everybody's a pussy because, I mean, till now I thought the biggest clown in Canadian MMA was Marcus Hicks, but clearly I was wrong Or maybe I wasn't. He's probably the biggest clown, but you're a close second.